What if I told you that there is another story beyond the story shown in the music videos of the Agust D triology? Art always has many layers and endless interpretations, and BDs always prove their identity through the complex stories in their art. But I think this time we might have found truly the core of the Agust D triology, a story for which is necessary as much involvement and understanding as in the Love Yourself triology, the hero's journey. I have been spending the last year reading and researching the details and mechanisms of this journey, which is also a creative one, and this is the maximum that I was able to squish out of the Agust D triology. If there is any left, I will be more than happy to add it. For now, what we know is this. The concept of the hero's journey seems to have been conceptualized by Carl Jung and has been expanded later more extensively by Campbell in his book The Hero with 1,000 Faces, that has been a pillar for many works of art, be it books or movies. However, there was something about this Jungian perspective that felt much closer to what Yoongi tried to present us than the extensive version of Campbell's approach. Moreover, I think that by the details Yoongi gave us, it is much easier to relate Agust D's journey to Jung's and not Campbell's, as the first has fewer stages and is more compact, although it is full of symbolism. Another reasons, while I go for the Jungian's perspective, is because there is another psychological process defined by Carl Jung, which kind of goes hand in hand with the journey of the hero, so they could be complementary. The hero journey is usually mentioned when we talk about the process of individuation, which is the process through which a person achieves a sense of individuality separate from the identities of others and begins to consciously exist as a human in the world. Yes, it refers to a psychological process, and through Jungi's verses we can clearly notice a big growth, both psychologically and emotionally. So my theory is that Min Yoongi projected through Agust D and his universe, his process of individuation, more precisely, how this manifested for him, and his lyrics are a wider additional source to this analysis. Especially since the process of creation has a big importance in the process of individuation, undoubtedly, this helped Yoongi define the process better and surely gave him some freedom and liberation from everything heavy he has been carrying. Huge disclaimer. Please note that by no means am I trying to psychoanalyze Yoongi or anything similar. From a psychological point of view, the image of the hero should not be perceived as being the same as the image of the self or the perception of someone. The image of the hero would better be described as the symbolic way through which the self separates himself from the archetypes that arose. This would also explain the variety of personas through which Agust D was presented, but we will get into that later on. So no, I am not analyzing Min Yoongi. I am just putting forward my interpretation of the symbols in his art and how these may represent, in one way or another, his process of growth and getting over those hardships or thoughts that held him back. Moreover, when talking about art, although knowing the artist's biography and noticing some resembles their biography in their art, we have no right to say that the art presented is also his biography. The artist could have taken some aspects or events as points of reference and inspiration for the art, and a lot of things could have changed in that process. So in the context of the analysis I will be doing, I will focus on Agust D, and it should not be interpreted under any means as an analysis on Min Yoongi. We all have agreed on the impactful change and healing Yoongi has gone through and how this all helped us all get through our struggles. This is only my interpretation of the events in the music videos, VKRs, and tour through the lenses of the Genshin hero journey. Occasionally, I might refer to information he has given us through interviews and bits of talk from the lives he has done regarding the process of creation of the albums. These are only some thoughts about the evolution of the persona Min Yoongi put out there, Agust D, and how it has evolved throughout the trilogy. I will be strictly working only with the visual details Yoongi gave us and bring the lyrics into discussion only if they highlight something in that storyline and not to add anything to it. I am aware that there are two different levels of vulnerability intimacy in each of these means of expression, which might not always complement each other. Resorting to aspects from one's past or one's life is crucial when analyzing such processes, but this is not what I will be focusing on. Please also note that I do not have any kind of higher studience in Thisdaman, so I might make a mistake, and everything written here is based on my personal readings and out of pure passion for Genshin psychology, to which I was introduced to also through BTS and symbolism and literature. So Donaken association. However, I've tried to document myself as much as I could on this topic, and I did not talk on aspects I thought I am still not documented enough on or do not have a certain understanding of. This being said, let's proceed with the analysis. Overview. Obviously, the Agust D music video. What I want to emphasize here is how, at the beginning of the music video, he is waking as if startled and looks around him. In this case, it might be interpreted as the calling when he realizes that he is being held back or held hostage by his own self, in a liminal place, the camper van, and he has to free himself. Personally, I think that this stage is perfectly shown through his first album entirely from a lyrical point of view, as this is what it is actually about. However, a part of it can also be found in the Daechwita Haegeum, when he decides to confront his shadow. I'm still amazed by how he creates a continuity between his first two albums through this aspect. The first part of the Daechwita Haegeum can be considered a part of this stage, while the second one, of the next stage. Both in Daechwita and in Haegeum, you can see he has people who help him win in the end. His first victory is when he KL's the king in the Daechwita music video. Although it might not look like part of the Agust D universe, People Part 2 has a special importance in this aspect. In the song, he does a deep introspection and understands what does life, love, and loneliness mean to him. By going back to these basic, yet complex principles of life, he is able to understand himself in a way that would give himself an actual place to come back to, a crucial step before the next stage. He defines himself again, and this gives him the power to move forward to the final step. The threshold battles and re-entry and reintegration refer to the countless tries to return from the place he left, spiritually. So this battle is actually his last confrontation with the authorities, because by the end of the Haegeum, his eye scar is healed. This makes him flawless, or at least, it gives the image of a him that was before and all the last inner conflicts and battles that were actually the most decisive ones pay off, and he can go back to his origins. My favorite part, and the part that made it all click for me, at the end of the Haegeum, just before he could take a bite of his food, he lifts his head, as if he sees something or someone, or he is called again. This could be his potential new call to adventure and the birth of another triology or album, which could show his grand artist visions. This further supports that change that occurred during the Daechwita music video. The hero's journey could, in the end, mean his death, despite all his success, but he might have another call to adventure which will further lead the story. There are many details that contour his story and give it actually that specific and unique character of the journey of the hero. Here have been given only some insights into all of those. Please let me know if you are interested in a more extensive version of this analysis, where I go deeper into each music video and analyze it from this perspective. Additionally, each stage has specific elements that complement them, symbols and themes of the journey that are meant to represent or emphasize the essence of humanity and highlight aspects of it that play a crucial role in the hero's development process. As complex as it sounds, it is so beautiful, trust me. This is all for today again. If you are interested in more, please share this video and let me know. I would love to make an extended version of this. Thank you so much for staying until the end. Discussions or questions about lyrics are always more than welcomed in the comments. I would also love to know what you think about this one. Let's enjoy their art together. Apabango.